Hi, and welcome to this special episode. It's a Christmas episode. It's special and it's just for you. You're welcome to the Morning You podcast. My name is Olu Olabode for those that might not know me, and I'm always excited to be here. Always bring you ways in which you can be more, do more, and have more. This week, I'm speaking about being more, being a person of value, being a blessing to others. So I want to share 10 ways you can be a blessing to others, this Christmas season, the people around you, 10 ways you and I can be blessings to people around us. And Christmas, as we all know, is a joyful time, is a great time. I love Christmas. It's almost like my favorite time of the year. And I'm sure it's for most people, maybe is your favorite time of the year as well. Why do I think it's my favorite time? I find at Christmas time, a lot of people are just joyful. I think the season actually helps us to be joyful. A lot of people are happy, joyful, just excited. So it's a beautiful time of the year. It's a great time where you can help people, you can share the joy of Jesus with people, you can love on people. And I find when you love on people in this season, a lot of people don't actually think you have a motive for it. People are more receptive at this time of the year. So it's always a great time that you can be a blessing to others. And so as I thought of this week's podcast, I thought, you know what? I'm going to share some ways. And I shared some of this a while back, but these are ways that I've found are great ways in which you and I can be blessings to the people in our life. So I want to start with number one. The very first one I want to share is you can be a blessing to those in your household. So you can love on those in your household. And I'm sure you're wondering, why are you talking about that? Yes, I think I'm going to start with that. So this is the Christmas season, and sometimes we tend to look outwards. Oh, who can I be a blessing to? We often will think outside our household, outside our like our immediate sphere, outside our family. But I want to remind you, I want to just bring it home and say, can you be a blessing to even those in your household? This might be a great time to sit down with those in your household, be it if you're married, it could be your husband, it could be your children, and just spend quality time with them. Like when I mean quality time, for a lot of us, the rest of the year, we're busy, going, we're go, 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 go. But this is a great time of the year whereby you can unplug and actually spend quality time with your family. But what I find is that quality time is not something that comes naturally. You're going to have to be intentional if you're going to spend quality time, which means you're going to have to make it happen. You're going to have to plan for it. For some of us, it might be just unplugging and say, okay, you know what? Let's watch a movie. What movie do you want to watch? Let's play games. Let's have a game night. Just be creative, but the motive just is spending quality time with your family. And as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me because I find, like I said, this time I just find it's easier to unplug. You've been busy, maybe you've been busy like with the rest of the year. This time we can actually say, you know what, I'm just going to unwind and I'm just going to take out some time for those that live in my household. And I'm actually going to point them. Another thing you can do for those in your household is apart from playing games, apart from watching movies together, you could say, okay, how can I serve you? What can I do for you in this season? Just something, just something different. How can I serve you? How can I be of value to you? How can I be of help to you? How can I be a blessing to you? So let's start with those in our household before we start going to the outside. I just thought that definitely has to be number one way to be a blessing. Let's go to number two. So number two would be there are always people around us, and for me this is a big one. I've done this for years. I don't really do it as much anymore, but I used to do it a lot in years past, whereby I had a lot of students around me that were not even, that came from a different, how would I put it? They came from home and they were far away from home. So here was home for them. Where I live is home for them. So what do? I look at it and think, what are you gonna do? What are you doing for Christmas? What are you doing for Christmas? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be the one to host you this Christmas. And I remember I have like loads of students in my house at Christmas time. It was always joyful. We watch movies, we eat. But the most important thing was just reaching out to those people that are by themselves, because as much as Christmas time can be joyful, it can also be lonely. So for those that live alone, or maybe those that have, for those that are students, it can be a lonely time. Maybe they're not able to go back home to their parents. And if you're someone that is in a place where you have students that you can host for Christmas, or just people that are single, that maybe they don't really have anything they're doing and they don't want to just be by themselves, because it can be really lonely if you're by yourself at this, at Christmas. So you say, you know what, I'm going to host you. So you can be a blessing to them by hosting those that are single, or those that are by themselves, or those that don't have a plan. And you can be the one to say, you know what, I'm going to host you. Let's have fun together. So invite them over, have dinner with them, play games, just have fun. I think it would be great. Let's do that this Christmas. That would be number 2. Let's be a blessing to those around us that may be single or don't have family around them. Number 3 would be volunteer. So you can help or give back to the community. So when I say volunteer, it means often you have, at this time of the year, you have the various organizations whereby you can volunteer to say, okay, I'm going to come in and I'm going to help out. Some of them do Christmas meals. Some of them do Christmas donations. I know there's one around where I live called Salvation Army. Different people volunteer at Christmas time to get donations on their behalf. So there are so many things we can do. There's so many ways we can volunteer. So you can look out for those organizations whereby you can help out. You can say, you know what, I want to help out. In what ways you guys need help? I want to be a blessing to you. And guess what? You would be amazed what would happen if you do that. Because I find it brings joy to you, because volunteering is service, really. Volunteering just means I'm forgetting about myself for a minute, and I'm just going to pour myself into others. I'm just going to serve. And you'll be amazed what happens when you do that. You'll be full of joy yourself. You feel like you're giving back. You feel like, I find it makes you feel, it helps you, feel yourself with energy. You're just excited. Why? Because you're helping others. So our number 3 key would be volunteering. It would be going out of your way to give back to the community, to give back to organizations, to give back to others that might not be, that might need other people to serve with them. Number 4, let's look. What do I have for number 4? I wrote here, visit someone, maybe someone you have not seen in a while, that you've been owing a visit and they really can do with your visit, and offer a listening ear. This might not be so, it might not sound such of a big deal to you, but I found it can be. I actually did this to somebody yesterday, and just, it was as I didn't even realize I was going to do this as a podcast, but, I visited somebody that I needed to visit, and we spent this time just talking, and I listened, and we just talked, and we just had fellowship, and we just enjoyed ourselves. But the bottom line of it is that there are people that maybe you've been wanting to visit for a while, you haven't had a chance to do it. Maybe this time of the year might be a great time to visit them. Spend time with them, and sometimes it's just to listen to them. They just want to talk, and you just have to listen. So that could be one way you can be a blessing to that person, because you'll find out, like I remember when I left that person's house, I felt like a breath of fresh air. I felt like, I'm so glad I came. The person was so happy, and I just felt like it was, this was great. I'm so glad I made the decision to come. It was an impromptu thing. Okay, I'm going to go see this person. It was impromptu, but I didn't realize how much I was going to feel so much better after I visited the person, because they needed it and I needed it as well. It was great just sitting there and catching up and just listening to them and just spending time. That spending time, I think, is the biggest part of it for them. So that would be number 4, which is visit someone that you be needing to visit and offer a listening ear. Number 5 would be call a friend, a family member, and tell them how grateful you are for them. So, this might sound like, do I really need to? But sometimes it's great to just, there's a family member somewhere that you're so grateful for the gift of them in your life. And sometimes we don't tell people often what they need to hear. We don't tell them often how we feel about them. We don't tell them often how important they are. We don't tell them often how much value they add to our lives. So, the Christmas time is a great time to pick up the phone. And so when I talk about blessing people in this episode, it's not just physical blessings, but blessing them, just thinking about them and offering thinking about them and just saying, I'm just going to offer a word of kindness. I'm just going to offer some encouragement. I'm just going to offer, like I said earlier, a listening ear. I'm just going to be there. I'm just going to let them know how grateful I am that I have the gift of them in my life. Just really just that. So it's so important, and you'll be, like I said, with the one I said earlier about visiting a friend, you will be amazed. That was a visit, but sometimes even just a call. Sometimes somebody is sitting on your mind. Somebody will be sitting on your mind for a while. You're wondering, why am I thinking of this person? It's because maybe you need to pay them a visit, or you need to, to just pay them a visit, or you just need to give them a call. You can't pay them a visit, but you can give them a call. You can send a text message. Sometimes you never know. Somebody's text comes in and you'll be amazed at what help that person's text can be to your life. And they just feel so encouraged because maybe they've been going through a hard season or a hard time, and just receiving that text from you is a game changer. And they're like, thank God for this person, because they really feel encouraged. And that was really what they needed at that point in time. Okay, let's go to number 6. It is pay it forward. So when we say pay it forward, in the part of the world I live in British Columbia, Canada. So in the Western world, there's something we call pay it forward. And that simply means at this time of the year is great when you go to, for example, those of us that go to fast food restaurants, or you go grab a coffee, you go grab a tea, at the drive-through, or you could be walking to the store to grab a coffee, to grab a tea. Paying it forward simply means you might actually be the one that starts a chain. So it's almost like a chain thing whereby somebody comes in and pays for your drink, or so your coffee, your tea, and then somebody pays for your tea, or you start it off by you paying for somebody else's coffee or somebody else's tea. And they are so grateful to you. They're like, oh, thank you. Maybe somebody's in front of you in the lineup, and you just whisper to the cashier, or you just, if you're in the lineup in the store, and say, I'll take the bill. Or it might be some of the person behind you. You're saying, whatever that person's bill is, I'm going to foot that bill. I'm going to pay for their drink. I'm going to pay for their coffee. I'm going to pay for their groceries. Whatever is happened to me, I was just in line in the store and God just dropped my heart, pay for that person's groceries. And you could see the look on their face like, no, you can't do it. I said, yes, I can. And I didn't plan to do it, but God said, do it. We don't know what that person was going through. I don't know what that person was going through, but God knew what that person needed that in time. So sometimes we don't realize that what we actually need that help. We don't realize how much of that help somebody needs. So when you pay it forward, guess what you're doing? You're being a blessing to that person. So the paying it forward, I find, is a big one, and it can be done in so many ways. You can pay forward, like I said, in a grocery store. You can pay forward in a coffee store, a tea shop. You can pay forward anywhere. You can even pay forward in, I know, like somebody is making an outfit for another person. You say, you know what, I'm going to foot the bill. Wherever you can foot somebody's bill, you can pay it forward. You can pay it forward in a hospital, whichever way. There are so many ways in which you can pay it forward. That's number 6. Let's go to number 7. Are we ready? Serve people who are always serving others. So do you know anybody that is always serving others? They always go out of their way to say, I want to be a blessing to somebody else. I want to be a blessing to somebody else. I always serve somebody else. Maybe you can serve them, because often these people don't often get served, and often they're not looking to be served, but it's actually a blessing to them as well if somebody else comes alongside and serves them. So maybe you could be a blessing to that person. And so that one of the great ways is that you can surprise them. You can say, yes, you do this so often to somebody else. Now it's your time to be served. So maybe those kind of people. It could be your parents, it could be your pastors, it could be somebody, a mentor, it could be a coach, just somebody that serves somebody else. You just want to be a blessing to them, and you serve them as well. So important. So look around you. There'll be people that you can serve. I know there's always people that we can serve around us. Can you find anybody that's always serving other people? maybe you can be of service to them. And truly, it's going to be a great blessing to them in this Christmas season. Okay, let's go to number 8. So you can pick a family. This one I love so much. Pick a family you know is struggling financially and bless them anonymously. So when I say pick a family, you look around you and you know there's a particular family. Maybe if for you might even be able to do 2 families. This family is struggling. You know that they have bills to pay. Maybe they can't even really afford Christmas gifts this season. Maybe you could be the secret Santa. You could be the one that is going to come and be a blessing to them. Do you think that's possible? Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can. So look around, you pick a family. And when I say it doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't have to be a lot of finances. It could even be you dropping off. And I actually watched this movie once. I remember what that movie, what they did was the family that wanted to bless the other family, they would go to their house at night and they would drop gifts on their doorstep during Christmas, because they knew this other family could not afford Christmas gifts. So the children would open the door and they would be so excited. They were really, really excited. And they did this for about 3 or 4 days and they did not catch them. They didn't know who dropped the gifts. But guess what? They had been a blessing to them. So maybe this could be something that you could do. Maybe you have a neighbor, you know, things are a bit tight for them and you can just be a blessing. It might be Christmas gifts, it might be something little, it might even be food, whatever it might be. Guess what? That will go a long way for that person. So this could be one thing that you could take away from this podcast, how you could be a blessing to others this Christmas season. Number 9, I think I think I might have missed up, but I think this is number 9. Do a clean out of your closet and donate it to the less privileged home. So when I say less privileged home, I mean here you can donate it to where I live. There's more the thrift stores that you can take it to them, whereby they resell it on others. Some even give it away to others for free. So just do a clean out of your closet. Are there things that are still really, I'm not saying clean out the junk from your closet. I'm saying clothes that are still good, that somebody else can still use. And you don't, if you've not worn it in 6 months, maybe some you haven't even worn in a year, some you haven't even worn in 2 years, and you're not going to wait. But somebody else, it will be a blessing to them. Could you do a clean out of that closet and donate it so somebody else can use it? It will be a blessing to somebody. And if you know someone that actually that might be a blessing, why not just send the items to that person? Or you could just simply take it to the thrift stores and they would give it to whoever they need to. The thrift stores often will sell it, but if there are also places that you can donate it. There are organizations that take clothes that you can donate. You have the Big Brother, Big Sister. You have various organizations and you can donate it to them, because they are also going to donate it to others for free. It would be a blessing to somebody else's life. Okay, let's go to number 10. Pick 5 to 7 people in your life that often don't get appreciated, and appreciate them by doing something special for them. So pick 5 to 7 people in your life. Interesting. You'll be wondering, 5 whole people? Yes, you can do this. And these things could be little things and they could be big things, but pick 5 to 7 people in your life and do something special for them. Remember I said we can start from our home. Let's start from our very, very household. So let's start from our home. Let's look around in our home. Start from there. Go to your neighbors. Look around you. It could be your church family. It could be your siblings. It could be whoever it is. Do something special for this group of people. You'll be amazed what joy will fill their hearts. You can be a blessing to them by doing this. And I have a bonus one, which will be number 11. I know I said 10 things, but there's a bonus one. And that is to contact your local fire station, your local police station, your local airports, it could be, and ask how you can be a blessing to them in this season. Maybe you could decide, okay, one night I'm just going to go to where I live. It's like It's called Tim Hortons, which is like a coffee shop. So you could just, okay, I'm going to go to the coffee store and I'm going to grab 6 coffees. I'm going to grab 10 coffees and I'm going to go and be a blessing to these people that serve all year long. I'm going to go to my local police station and I'm going to ask for their orders and I'm going to go and grab what they want on my bill. I'm not going to ask them for money. Maybe you live near the airport. Okay, I want to ask the airport staff. You could go to walk up to one of the stands and say, oh, what drinks would you like? Like what coffee would you like? What tea would you like? You could just randomly ask them if you could grab it for them and you paid for it. It's just simple ways, 10 simple ways that you can be a blessing to those around you in this Christmas season. 10 simple ways that I can be a blessing to those around me in this Christmas season. So remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. And so don't take Jesus out of the season because he makes the season joyful. So as you have a Merry Christmas, remember, it's not just about you, but think about all those that are around you and how you could be a blessing to them. So excited. And if you're here, if you're listening to me on a podcast platform, it could be Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, it could be Spotify, whichever of the podcast platforms you're listening to me. As you're there, please remember to review, remember to rate this podcast, remember to subscribe so that he encourages me so that I keep doing those podcasts. And it actually shows me that people are actually listening to it. They actually need it. Or else sometimes it feels like, oh, maybe nobody even needs what I'm putting out there. And if you also want to watch, you can watch this on YouTube. You can actually be watching me on YouTube. If you're not watching me on YouTube, you can watch this on my YouTube channel, Olu Olabode, the Purpose Midwife. And while you're there, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can keep bringing you faith-building motivational messages on this podcast. I love doing this, but I want to know that truly this is being a blessing to you. One of the ways you can support me, guess what, is by subscribing to my YouTube channel. So guess what? Don't just subscribe, remember to push the notification bell so that every time I drop a video, you are the first one to know about it. Awesome. Have a beautiful Christmas. Have a lovely Christmas. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always listening to this podcast. Thank you for sharing this podcast with one friend or another. If you know someone that this will be a blessing to in this season, please send this podcast to them so it can bless them as well. Have an amazing Christmas, and I would see you next week. Bye. And guess what? Actually, I have a gift for you, and I'm going to be putting these 10 ways. I'm going to be putting these 10 simple ways you can be a blessing to someone this season. I have a checklist, or rather, I have it as a list so that you can actually look down the list and just scroll down. You can download the list if you want to. Just have it handy. If you just want to have it handy, you can download the list, and that way you can just look up each of these simple ways. And you'll be able to do that by clicking on a link. I'll drop the link in the YouTube, the description. So if you're watching on the Apple Podcast, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or any of the podcast platforms, you would get the link as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you would get the link as well. So just click on the link and you will be able to download those 10 ways that you can be a blessing in the season. Bye, everyone. See you again next week.